What is going on today, everyone? Today we have the 2019 Honda CRV, and although it hasn't really been changed since it came out in 2017, it remains a very competitive compact crossover and one of the best sellers. So today we're going to take a look at the exterior, the interior, the cargo. Of course, we're going to go for a test drive. Can't wait to show it to you. Let's get started. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in for this 2019 Honda CRV review. Before I get started, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to Honda Cars of Rockwall in Rockwall, Texas. They were super generous to let me take this thing out. It's brand new on the lot. If you're in the DFW area, please be sure to give them a look. I'll put their information in the description below. The 2019 Honda CRV isn't really changed from last year. We still have the same four trim levels, the LX, the EX that we have right here, EXL, and Touring. The EX is the volume seller, and it's just about $3,000 more than the base model, but it does give you a lot of features. So let's go ahead and take a look. And starting out right away, all CRVs get LED daytime running lights running right under the headlight. We've got an LED turn signal as well. Our model has halogen headlights and halogen fog lights. You get LED headlights on the Touring, but the fog lights will always be halogen. And this does have active aero shutters in the front grille. Like I said, nothing really changed from the last model. Now this color is molten lava. What do y'all think of it? It's kind of like a reddish, orangish, burnt color. Let me know what you think of the design and of the color. Now this 2019 CRV gives us two different wheel options, 17s and 18s. And these are actually 18s. Just like the rest of the models, they're gonna look a little bit different. Only the base LX will give you 17-inch wheels. And these have 235 wide tires. They're ventilated front disc brakes and solid disc brakes in the back, and we have a full independent suspension. When we talk about the mirrors, the LX will give you just basic power mirrors, non-heated. The EX will give you heated power mirrors with turn signals, no power folding or anything like that. And the door handles on the LX, you'll have black, but here in the rest of them, we have body color door handles. In terms of length with the CRV, you have the HRV below it, the CRV here, and then the Honda Pilot. The HRV will be about 170 inches, the CRV is 180.6, and the Pilot 196.5. So this is definitely in the middle. The Pilot is quite a bit larger than this, that's for sure. Ground clearance on this particular model is 7.8, but with all-wheel drive, you'll get 8.2 inches, which isn't too bad at all for a crossover. And then standard on the Touring model, you'll be able to get roof rails up top there. And as a convenience feature behind that fuel door, it is a capless fuel filler, so that is pretty nice. Coming around to the back of the CRV, we've got unique LED taillights that run up and down. Same with those LED turn signals. Those are pretty unique. They really do stand out quite a bit at night. They remind me of the Civic taillights in terms of the bars that they have inside of them. And we've got a single exhaust outlet right here, but on the Touring model, you'll get dual chrome outlets. And as far as the driver safety stuff goes, that's only on the EX model. You'll get lane departure warning, lane keep assist with road departure mitigation, adaptive cruise with low speed follow, automatic high beams, blind spot monitoring with cross traffic alert, forward collision warning with automatic braking, and you can get rain sensing wipers to top it off on the Touring model. Now moving to the CRV's cargo area. On our EX model, we just have a regular manual liftgate. On the EX, you'll get power, and then on the Touring, you'll get the hands-free liftgate. So we've got the little touchpad right back there, and if you just give it a little help, it'll go up on its own. There's a handle right up there. And in the back of the CRV, you'll get 39.2 cubic feet behind the second row and 75.8 with the seats folded down, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And that is very large for this class, indeed. We do have an optional cargo mat right here. That is not typically in here. As you can see, there's a little storage bin on each side. There's a hook over there as well, little tie down on both sides. So that's very handy. Both sides actually get lights that you can flick off if you really want to. On the EX trim, you will get this sliding cargo cover, or this pull-out cargo cover. You can remove that if you want and stow it down there if you need to. And all trims actually give us a spare tire. Let me show you that. Just right under there, so that's great news. You don't have to deal with just an inflator kit and it's insulated, so it should help with some sound. You could even store a tiny bit of stuff back there if you needed to. Also, I'm not going to move it right now, but this cargo floor can move up to where it sits on that ledge right there so that you have a taller load floor. So you can adjust it like that. Then to fold the seats down, remember, well, actually I'll show you guys in a little bit, but that seat is as far back as it can go. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to touch this. I'm just going to fold it down with this handle. Oh, the seat belt's on right now, so it's but it made it. So you don't even have to remove the headrest, even if that seat is all the way back. And let's pull this one out of the way. Oh boy, that one is being held up by the seat belt. But as you can see, if you move the cargo floor up a little bit, you'll have a pretty flat load floor. And then, like I said, that gives you almost 76 cubic feet, which is quite good for this class. The 2019 CRV's key fob is the smart key system on the EX trim and up, which will give us push button start and remote start. And the way this works is just like some other vehicles where you just put your hand behind it. To unlock it, it's got a sensor, and then to lock it, all you gotta do is touch those little lines on there and you're good to go. And this also does have an automatic lock function. When you walk away about 10 feet, it'll automatically lock. But it was locked, so it didn't lock for us. The front seats of the 2019 Honda CRV starts like this. The base LX will give you 6-way manual, all-way adjustable. You can pump it up and down if you want to. On this EX trim, we've got 12-way power, and they're heated seats. They're still cloth. And on the EXL is when you'll get your leather and memory settings, and same goes for the Touring. And those do not offer a ventilated function at all. It's just heated for the CRV. The nice thing about this 12-way power adjustment is that you've got 4-way lumbar, which is really nice to have starting on the EX trim. And where I would normally sit at 5'9", I've got quite a bit of room in here. It feels quite spacious for a compact crossover. As far as headroom goes, I've got plenty of it above my head, and knee room seems to be okay. The center console does jut out a little bit, but I haven't had any trouble with it personally at 5'9". And these seats are comfortable in my opinion. I haven't been able to spend a lot of time in them, but they have some good sized bolstering around the edges. The headrest is not super intrusive for your head, and the seats are kind of a medium, not too firm, not too soft. They seem very comfortable. As for the steering wheel, this is the polyurethane on the EX trim. You have to get the leather seats, so the EXL, in order to get the leather steering wheel. The adjuster is quite a ways down, but we have a pretty good range of motion for tilt and telescoping. And if you want a heated steering wheel, it is optional equipment. All right, starting on the interior of the CRV, as you can see, we have this trim piece running across, nice accent pieces right here. Soft materials on the armrest, a little bit of padding right there, but it is still pretty soft, and a softer upper right there. No memory settings in here, but you'll get those on the EXL. The driver's window on the LX is automatic. Otherwise, on the EX, you get driver and passenger fully automatic right here, and it even says auto. You got a deep storage bin, possibly an umbrella right there. My bottle does fit in here. Little storage cubby right there as well. But on the inside, we've got our lane departure, forward collision, you can turn that off if you want, and traction control right there. A nice solid door slam from Honda, very typical. Then as we move across this dash, nothing really is changed here for this model year at all. We still have that volume knob in case you missed that. Let's go ahead and start it up with push button start. And it will start right up. Honda gives us a digital display right here, and as you can see, you even kind of have little digital lines on the sides right there with the tachometer up here right above. And let me scroll through this. There's several pages that you can see. You've got a digital speedometer only right there. We can scroll through. A coffee cup basically tells you if you need to stop and take a rest. It kind of monitors your attention level. Any settings right there, warning messages, your audio, your phone, and then you can change it to kilometers per hour if you want to. You know, it's a nice large display with some basic information that you can see right there. This is the polyurethane steering wheel. You do get a couple little sport grips on the side and some gloss black down here. Steering wheel controls for audio and our display up there. Phone controls as well. You can change your pages if you need to. Volume controls, and this volume slider right here actually is not going to wear out like some of the older Honda models that you've seen. Same with this, to where the color actually wears off. And then our cruise control settings over here, adjust your distance, the lane departure, and you can turn that stuff on or off, as you can see on the screen right there when you hit the main button, ACC and LKAS, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control. And then as we move across, the base LX will get us a 5-inch LCD screen, but we've got this 7-inch touch screen, and we just have a volume knob. Otherwise, we've got touch sensitive buttons over here. You can kind of customize the way that this goes. Honda Link is included. This 7-inch screen also gives us Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Sirius XM. Speaker systems will range from 4 to 6 on here, and then 8 on the EXL, and 9 speaker on the Touring model. The system is still fairly easy to use. It's not super fast or anything like that, but the sensitivity of these buttons works well. There's quite a bit that you can change and customize. There's a lot of information that you can see on here as well. And of course, we do have Bluetooth even on the base model, so you do have that connectivity with your phone. Let's go ahead and check out the backup camera. There's no surround view monitor or 360 camera. The base model does not give you dynamic lines. Otherwise, the rest of them do give you dynamic lines. And we've got 3 angles right here. You've got a wide angle, a normal angle, and then a top down. So if you actually have a hitch on here, or you're backing up into something, that is something that can come in handy. And you just saw that beep right there. That's a cross traffic alert. A person just walked behind me, so that was just letting me know, which is pretty cool. We've got climate control buttons down here. You can see your fan speed. You can adjust everything else right there. Dual zone automatic climate control, and that's on the EX. Otherwise, it's single zone on the base model. 3-tier heated seats for you and your passenger. No ventilated seats on the CRV. You've got this higher mounted shifter, but it works just fine. It doesn't take very long to get used to. You even have your S mode down here. We'll go through that. And L for a low setting with our CVT. Electronic parking brake hold button, so you can press that and it will hold the brake for you. Maybe at a stoplight, stop sign, or a drive-through, something like that. Econ mode to dull your throttle response, saving fuel economy. 12-volt power outlet down here, a little kind of a rubberized plasticky storage bin right there to stick something if you want to. The bottle holders do work well. My bottle fits in here just fine, no problem, and it looks like it can adapt for some other size cups as well. I'm a big fan of the Honda center console. We've got a couple USB ports, one for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which charges a little bit faster, and then one just regular charger and a 12-volt power outlet right there as well. Now, thing about this is, where's that? There it is. Okay, so it's kind of was kind of missing in here. This piece you can take out, or you can put it back in and slide it forward and backwards. So when you have this armrest down, you've got a nice shelf right there. The armrest is nice and padded. It's not leather unless you get the EXL trim. We can lift this up out of the way, and we've got a fairly deep storage bin, including that part right there. So very versatile center console from Honda there. And as we go take a look at the rest of the dash, we've got a gloss black with some nice looking material, even some stitching there, the trim piece below that. Our glove box is lockable, soft opening, decent size, not softly lined or anything, but it is lockable, which is nice. The dash is made up of a fairly nice material. It's pretty soft touch. Hopefully you don't expect any rattles coming out of that. And then as we move up above, we don't have the automatic dimming mirror. That will be on the EXL, which will also give us the garage home link, but you have the manual dimming option right here. Our visors here do slide in and out from here. We've got a vanity light and mirror right there. The base model does not have a vanity light, but you do still get a mirror. And we have the moonroof on this trim. That's on the EX trim. There's no panoramic roof available at all. We have the sunglass holder and a conversation mirror so you can see anybody behind you. There's a look at our panoramic roof. All but the base model get that. And then when we go to turn around and take a look at our visibility, it's really not too bad. That back pillar window is larger than you think, but with typical crossovers, not great for visibility, but we do get blind spot monitoring in both mirrors on this trim. The back seat of the CRV is really quite spacious. Sitting behind myself at 5'9", I've got a lot of knee space, even a lot of foot space underneath the seat. Got an armrest here in the middle, air vents back here, and on the EX trim you get 2 fast charging USB ports, which is very welcome. Sitting up tall, I seem to have some decent thigh support if I let my legs down. I've got pretty good headroom too, not even close to really touching my hair. And I have the passenger seat all the way back, but first, there's a little hump in the middle, you know, firm middle seat, but I can still sit up tall without my head touching. And with this passenger seat all the way back, I can sit here without my knees really even being closed. So there is a lot of space back here. These seats don't slide forward and backwards, but the good news is they do recline a little bit. So you can lean back and get more comfortable if you need to. And on top of that, we do still have a fairly soft armrest, a couple bottle holders in here with little storage as well. For the 2019 Honda CRV, we've got 2 different engine options. On the base LX, you'll get a 2.4 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, but on the EX and up, we get this 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. Both will be paired with a CVT. Now the LX 2.4 base engine will put out 184 horsepower, 180 pound-feet of torque, and this 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinders, 190 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque at 2,000 RPM. Miles per gallon is going to depend on which engine you get. On the base 2.4 liter, you'll get 26 in the city and 32 on the highway with front wheel drive. And then this 1.5 liter turbo with front wheel drive will give you 28 city, 34 highway for 30 combined, and you'll lose 1 mile per gallon for both variants of engines if you get all-wheel drive. And we have a 14-gallon fuel tank, and we can tow a max of 1,500 pounds. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching this long. If you've stuck with the entire video so far, we are on the test drive, always my favorite part. And my first impression of this 2019 CRV is that it feels a lot like the Civic that I just drove. And with good reason. This thing has pretty light steering for what it is. Sorry, getting distracted here. It's got pretty light steering. It feels a lot like the Civic, something very nimble and easy to move around. We're just about to get on the highway here, and I have driven this turbo engine before. I've driven the 2.4 liter in an older model, so I'll try to give you a little bit of feedback on the difference between the two. While we're at a stop, one thing to note is that there's no auto stop start technology where the engine shuts off when you come to a stop. All right, let's give it a little acceleration run here. And that was just partial acceleration. And the thing about this turbo is you get your power really early. The biggest difference between this and the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder is that you have to get the RPMs up fairly high to start getting your power. This, I believe it starts coming out at about 2,000 RPM. So the second you put your foot down, you start to get that boost and that pull. And it's a pretty long range of pull too, which is pretty nice for what normal driving is, so you don't really have to get your RPMs up very high. Now that we're up to cruising speed, it's fairly quiet in here. I don't have my decibel ratings because I don't have this on the same roads that I can test all my weekly testers on, so hopefully Honda can send me one to where I can get a full test of this thing. But it seems to be pretty quiet. I'm not really hearing much for wind noise, and it's actually kind of a windy day. Another thing to note is that the CRV standard gives you active noise cancellation, which can help kind of block out some of the humming, droning type sounds that you can get when you're on the road. And I just rolled this window down to check. These are not laminated glass, at least on this trim. I haven't seen if there's laminated glass on the other trims for these front doors. Ride comfort in here is pretty good. I think this vehicle has a really nice balance of comfort and comfort with the ride and in handling. It's definitely not sharp handling. It's not the most precise. We're going to take a bit of a corner right here, get a feel for it. The feedback is not super precise, but it's very easy to drive. Like I said, it's got light steering. I'm not feeling much for body roll, which is good. Confidence inspiring vehicle if you ask me, especially for this class. When it comes to the braking, going to get on the brakes a little bit here. Not much trouble with the braking at all. The brakes feel pretty good, honestly. Coming to a complete stop, the brakes feel exactly as you would expect them to. There's no guessing, there's no harsh bites or softness to them. They just work the way that they're supposed to. The CRV does have an S mode and an econ mode. I'm not going to put it in econ mode because it's just for saving fuel economy. It dulls your throttle response. But I'm going to put it in S mode and see how it responds. So you just move the lever down, and it should keep the RPMs a little bit higher with our CVT transmission. And right from the start, you're probably not going to notice a huge difference, but once you get up to speed and kind of let off, it's going to hold the RPMs higher. Now, if I just shifted into drive, it would drop the RPMs, but it's keeping them up pretty high, so throttle response is better. And again, with this corner, the weight of the steering is pretty light, so there's minimal effort involved with going around corners and maneuvering the CRV, which should make it very easy to park, considering its small size in some parking lots. I was talking about noise. I have not heard any rattles in here. It's brand new. I've been in here a short time, but no rattles or anything like that. Minimal amounts of wind noise. The only thing that you really hear is when you get on it is the powertrain, the drone from that powertrain. And you do get a pretty good pull. This is pretty quick for this class. It's not going to be 2.5 liter turbo CX-5 quick or 2 liter turbo Equinox quick, anything like that, but it's quick enough for most people. But the biggest thing with these turbocharged engines is they tout very good fuel economy, and they can get good fuel economy, but if you lay into it enough, and if you're really using that turbo and it's sending a lot of boost to you, the MPGs are going to go down quick. So you're going to want to kind of monitor that and see how it goes in the first little bit that you have it, so you can kind of get used to how you can get good mileage with it. In conclusion, I think the CRV is a great value. It's got a naturally aspirated engine if you want it on the base model. The EX model that we have right here is about $3,000 more expensive, but you get a lot of options with it. And with Honda, you don't really have stuff that you can add to it for options, but every trim level is kind of clear cut on what you get. Like, this is the value volume seller, and then you've got the leather with the EXL, and then you've got the top tier with the touring. And I think this is a great value. If you really want leather or power liftgate, memory settings for your seats, go with the EXL, and then the touring just kind of tops it off with some of the extra goodies. But compared to the new RAV4, I have not been in there yet. I'm hoping to do that soon, the 2019 RAV4. Please be sure to check that out when you get a chance. Big thank you to Honda Cars of Rockwall for letting me drive this and show you guys. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you've stuck around this long and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Thank you so much. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and we'll catch you guys next time.